Oi, what's up? It's Demented, and today I have probably my most dreaded review on any player up to this point, because this one is not even a main support player, but is a off tank, I believe, with a main support label slapped onto it in Highbee from the Valiant. So, in terms of my expectations are at the absolute lowest, and with that being said, I want to compare Highbee to Friday. So I'm going to be using the NYXL versus Valiant game for this to hopefully kind of match that out, but since I still want to treat this like a normal review, I want to start my lo-fi and get into my little preface. So, hello, I'm Demented. If you don't know who I am basically a main support coach, specialist, whatever the fuck you want to call me. That basically, I feel like I'm one of the only people that care about main support as a role, and I, in general, really want to see the role doing a lot better than it is right now. That's why I'm as hard as I am, and that's why I am I appear very toxic. But, I mean, with that being said, this is all for the fun of the sport and for the betterment of the role. So, with that being said, of course we start with Mercy gameplay. This is some of the most sleeper shit ever. I mean, positionally, this is pretty fine. I mean, still peeking up from corners unnecessarily. It's just openly peeking their Kree. That's very strange to me. Also a little delayed on the reaction for peeling. There's a solid point there of that not coming through, with Crystal needing to be even in this fight, I wanna bring this up, because like I even brought this up when I was talking about Dala in my recent video. But like, with how open some of these Mercy players play, it's really unfortunate. And I mean, especially on Koth, plus, not gonna lie, Highbee just looks kind of fucking lost here. And then eventually, like, just for example, like, and this isn't anything crazy because Jonak was dead, Friday was dead, but like looking at say like Flora was around here, is now like back here, but like you're flying into so many people that have so many different angles on you that it is like that. To me, that's terrifying. But instead, what you could do is like we see like Milan run. I'm trying to get a better like depth of field to really show this, but it's playing like above here ish in the pillars, and you can use that to then like kind of fly a little bit and then descend and then fly up and play up here to where their LOS is broken, there being the NYXLs. But regardless, like the peeling is there, but it's a little like behind, if that makes sense. It's very like, it's like on ping. It's ping peel. So now I can look at Valk usage and see how tempo control is. I don't necessarily like that. So this is like the problem that I have with some people like this, and I guess that's not the best way to put it, but like, look how easily this Valk gets forced. It is literally no HP has been lost, and Highbee is Valking. That's not to say that you need to get like chunked sizably, but this is it's a defensive Valk when you're in an offensive position, which really makes for weird like tempo control, because now it's like, sure, you're getting pushed, but now you're like kind of wanting to push back because now you have Valk, when you should have been doing that to begin with because you have Nano Echo. So now everyone's kind of confused, at least I am. There's very little to, in my opinion, really mess up with Valk, because it's like Valk is literally just a team amp and should only be used to like, I feel like you should only really use Valk to escape getting pressured when you will like 100% die to it. But let's watch the health bar and see. Took at most 80 damage. That's crazy. I don't... Yeah, that was obvious. I have never seen such a telegraphed res in my life. So... Is this bad? Why is this bad? I don't think this is the worst play ever, but the timing of it, it's like, man, so okay, this is where, again, you have to realize what tempo the other team is playing at, because if I want to look at this from a, like, wider perspective, like, we're using Valk, we're rotating back to point, they're pushing up because they just got to pick on a ball. As soon as they leave this tells you to go. Like, don't sit here and then like look at him and be like, oh man, it really sucks that he's dead over there. Damn, that still really sucks. Wait, maybe I can res this when it's like last second. Plus, not to mention the I guess kind of positioning of this res is like inherently dangerous. But you as a Mercy in Valk have, I don't know if the tether, like how long you can go without breaking res is longer, but you can definitely play somewhere like a little bit safer, and like even though this sounds really dumb, just like fucking zoom your ass over here. And then as you start resing in like this general area, you can slowly move out towards like behind this tree, just as an example. But I mean, I don't exactly know how long the tether would be to see if you could go behind someplace like this or anything. But this is just an insanely telegraphed res, which I completely can understand why this gets punished. And it's like, a res like that as well is like, you have to understand cooldown usage, and the reason for that is like, if you have a very risky res but the other team has no real way, like let's say they slept silver 3, flash fanned silver 3, like echo stickied silver 3, they used everything, and then they wasted the micro missiles on you, then it's kind of like a skills check to them, because they now have to use their raw input to like take care of this res without it just getting off scot-free. But instead, this telegraphedness and the hesitation really makes this like not surprising. This is Man, what? I don't know what Highbee's problem is with like being slightly low HP. I think that's kind of the weird dynamic between like being a tank player and whatever the fuck that was. But being a tank player and having like a more girthy health pool as opposed to Mercy and Lucio and Brig and everyone like that. So I mean, first off, this is pretty bad from Molanran for like in terms of bad copy. That's a fine GA, and then Shochen comes to peel. This is fine, but you inherently trap yourself in this kind of situation because ultimately, if we're looking at this like in general, realistically, Highbee has the chance to fly out to Shochang, to possibly fly to Milanran, and there's like a bunch of opportunities if Highbee chooses to take them, but instead he kind of just doesn't, and then he like tries to hit a fadeaway, and then Wuya dies, and then tries to come back. He tries to come back and insta-res, and it's like, man, even if you were gonna do that, like, it would have been better to be dropping off res from here. Like, it's crazy. Anyways. And this is just Mercy. Like, this is the shit I normally can't make notes about. Okay. This is another case of like have a second way out, because as soon as, especially because you saw Yagpung coming from a mile away. Unfortunate. What a shame. I don't know if that just made a noise because I opened ESPN Plus, but I'm sorry if it did. Okay. What are we doing here? Let me see what forces the Valk. Nothing. Sick. So, like, I mean, I guess this is the try to get last fight territory, but like overall, your team is everywhere and all over the place. So it's a little fucked. This is so weird, so wacky. Let me hold on. I'm sorry for doing this right now, but I wanna unbind my left click thing. If I remember right, I think Highbee had a pretty decent heals to speed ratio. I could be wrong though, but that's just something that I'll think about for when the thing goes by. I mean, so that was pretty bad. But again, we're not expecting anything crazy. This is literally statistically, and I'm pretty sure on like IBM Watson and shit, this is the worst main support by far. As well as just the worst support period. Alright. Let's break this down a little bit. So I had to eat a Pringle. I mean, still playing super in the open. Like, the positioning needs so much work. It's just like not even GAing to get across like not even using GA to get across like corridors and stuff is also like mind numbing. No, res is fine. Again, this is like peel on ping. Don't tell me you Valk this. Okay. Like you can notice just how like, again, this is useless. Like why like, okay. So let's talk about why this Valk gets forced. So why, like, if you were to watch this and be like, holy fuck, like Jonak is like super bloodthirsty on Ana, like he's thirsting for this kill way too hard. That's at least what I would be saying. That's what I would go to normally. But this is entirely because of Highbee not using like traditional cover, in terms of like not using natural cover to make sure that like nothing, to make sure that you're not in LOS to people. And for that reason, whenever you go against someone that like knows that you can't get away with that shit in Owl, you won't get away with that shit in Owl. So drops down to 6 HP before Valking. And Valking what is my question? You Valked as Silver 3 was slept and Molanron was excuse me, Molanron was so far into the enemy team that there was no way he gets out alive. Like, I don't know what tempo you're trying to set with that, or what kind of shit you're trying to do. I had hope for the Valiant, because I wanted I mean, I wanted the main support from the Valiant to be someone else that I've talked about for a while, but like, this is, I'm already tired of Mercy gameplay, so let me skip to next VOD. And if, I mean, I'm hoping that they don't just keep playing Mercy, or else that'd be very tragic, and I'll find another VOD to go through. Please. Man. Do you at least play Brig on like defense? Nope. Yeah, this is just a fucking tragedy. Okay, what else? I wish I was a little bit more prepared for this, but I mean, I have a lot to do tonight, so, and I wasn't necessarily trying to like rush this review out or anything, but like I wanted to. Bro, don't tell me you're on Mercy the entire series, man. You don't go Brig once? Brig? I swear, I feel like I've seen Highbee on Brig a lot. And for the sake of like wanting to roast him, I really want to fucking see either Lucio gameplay or Brig gameplay. There we go. Okay. So I'm not entirely sure what we're doing with this comp, but let's roll with it. Oh my god. That is horrifying levels of awareness. I think my grandma could have reacted to the diva better. That's okay. A little bit in shock after that one, I'll be honest. First off, also just not wall riding at all is another thing already. A full amp of speed. A full amp of speed as you're getting cooked by fucking sim turrets is beyond me. I don't know where. Still on speed. Still on speed. And there we go. And then what the fuck? Yeah, yeah, this is just not a main support. I refuse to believe this is a main support or a human on the same scale. What the fuck? Holy shit, that was the first heal amp. Let's fucking go. Holy shit. I'm glad your ult charge is almost able to keep up with the fucking percentage on point. This is a fine speed, because you actually have a reason for it. Unlike anything else. Dude, what is that awareness? Like, I would guess, if this was like a guess my SR, and I had to do a review and guess the person's SR by the end of it, this is low masters. At the most. At the peak of low masters evolution is Highbee. This is a fine speed amp because you already have beat, so amp doesn't matter anymore. Okay, that was the scariest fucking beat drop you'll ever see. So first off, you're inherently taking longer to hit the ground just because you're getting pulled in the middle of it. Not to mention, as soon as you get pulled, you're immediately, like, the plan is to, for the fusion, to follow up on that pull and to immediately burst you down. So if this went to plan, if this went to their plan and it was in the LOS of window, which I'm assuming they were going for, you Ajax this every time. Like, this is a consistent, like, 9 out of 10 times you Ajax this. Has amp for heal and just doesn't use it. Just doesn't feel like it. That's wild. Highbee on the recontest. God damn. What a shame. I mean, assuming that we already knew that this wasn't gonna end well, honestly, I see no need to make this like a super long video, to be honest, so I have no plans on making it like super long. It's probably gonna be 40 minutes or less for that reason. Why? We're crossfading for no reason. Just to have something to do. Also, just booping people like it's a thing to do. Bro, okay. So Mono just jumped your team, and you now turn, missed the boop, and also tried to amp speed through him. Through Mono's existence. Why? What was the point of it? This is... Like the tempo's off, the peeling's off, the fucking the player is off. And this is why I'm frustrated with Valiant, because there are actually good Chinese main supports. And instead they put an off tank that doesn't know to go on heals in the middle of a fight to go up to Overwatch League and become a laughingstock. I mean, their goal, if their goal was to make the team a laughingstock, I mean, fucking grade A. Holy shit, I thought he would have died to that. That's a fine boop. Let's go. 1 for 30. Oh, dude. Okay. So let me... I want to find out when it's gonna click to people that, like, look how much this struggles, and then as soon as he switches on to fucking heals, immediately gets beat when he needs it. Now that doesn't happen for everything, but why thread the needle so much for absolutely nothing? That will forever and always not make sense to me. Not using walls again, that's fucking epic. Dude, if you just stay on heals, man. If Highbee stays on heals through that entirety of that, like, engagement and that amp, he starts to outpace Toby even more than he already is. Which doesn't mean much, because I feel like Toby is very average, but, like, it speaks for what could be. Oh, it's just because Toby wasn't in the fight. That's why he was outpacing him. Sick. Meeting them on this high ground is fine. I don't expect this guy to know how to boot people off high ground, though. Yeah. This is, like... The amp usage feels like when I was playing in, like, Diamond or Masters scrims, and then I would tell other people to tell me when to amp so that I could never be wrong. That's what this reminds me of, this gameplay. And I have never heard anyone sell out someone that was trying to hide so much than a Lucio walking up and bouncing 3 times. The aggressive beat during the Cole. And let's see how this goes for him. Yep, because you burned everything and didn't do anything with it. You never double support ult like this, man. This is fundamentals, bro. Like, as soon as you see that you have an ult in Coalescence that is dealing damage, dealing pressure, as well as healing, why do you need to beat? Your Coals cancel each other out, where both teams, like, I mean, you're getting more priority because you're using Reaper ult, but plus, not to mention, if you're Reaper ulting, you want people to stay close to the Reaper ult. And if anything, if you're a Lucio player, you want to boot people into said Reaper ult. If you beat and they kite it out, now they're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. With one really weirdly off-rolling stone. Like, there's nothing going on here. There's like a bunch of people that I was able to at least make a case for, that they had some sort of upside, even though some people never saw it. But this just makes no sense. And it's like, sure, if you really wanna stretch and be like, wow, Highbee really took the pace to Toby and really beat Toby on pacing him to his second beat. That's fine, and you have an okay point, but what is a beat worth if you don't know how to use it? Because that's immediately where my mind goes to. And with that being said, I'm tired of watching this already. So this is another NA. Don't feel like rating anything. I think it's very obvious that this is something that they're not comfortable on, but I'm hoping in the future they do some better research into the Chinese scene if they keep going in there and pick up some of the other talent in there. So with that being said, I appreciate the fuck out of you all for watching, and with all of that out of the way, I really would appreciate it if you go and support my last video. I worked really fucking hard on it. It was like a 3-day process of outline writing, and I also just think generally it's worth watching because I really like the two people that were that I talked about in that. So you can follow me on Twitter and see whenever I upload. I always tweet it out, and I mean that's pretty much the only shit I tweet. So I mean you can turn notifications on, you know what I'm saying. But anyways, I appreciate it, and I will see you when I see you later.